his followers. But I think what will scare them is if he talks more about the future than the past. This is going to be a theme throughout these upcoming speeches by President Trump, which is he focused on critiquing Joe Biden? Is he focused on unifying the Republican Party around issues? Or is he more focused on relitigating through his rhetoric what happened in 2020? And that is where most Republicans and Democrats I know who are pros are going to be watching tonight.
Yeah, and Senator, as you know, I mean, President Trump left office with a hugely high rating of within the GOP. They're excited for that. I'm excited for it. It's like, I love it. It's like a rock concert. So what about the rhinos, the establishment Republicans that we really have, I mean, they've been highlighted recently. Will this help or hurt turnout? I mean, what's going to be the conflict going forward on that?
Well, first, I agree with Mark that this is a great opportunity for the president to talk about the future, to contrast his positions on issues with what Biden is doing, which is a clear disaster from all domestic policies to foreign policies right now. And so he needs to talk about that rather than going back and even suggesting we can overturn the last elections. I like the idea that's going on around in a number of states to audit particular counties, because the majority of Americans, if you take the last two presidential elections, think there was some fraud. So we need to satisfy with some evidence of what's going on. But the president can talk about issues that are America believes in. I think what we're going to see is a lot of energy still behind Trump, as Mark says, and this will give the president and the country a chance to see if that energy is still there. And you ask about rhinos, I'm convinced that the more he shows himself, the more the rhinos will move back towards at least the middle of the party.
Yeah. Well, Mark, some of Trump's political appointees are still coming under fire from the left. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy is under investigation of the allegations that he pressured former employees to donate to conservative candidates. He was asked about it on Capitol Hill. Take a look for this.
Did you pay back several of your top executives for contributing to Trump's campaign by bonusing or rewarding them?
That's an outrageous claim, sir, and I resent it.
I'm just asking a question.
The answer is no.
Okay, so they're going after him because he's a Trump appointee. I mean, look, they go after everybody. They went after me. They went after a ton of other people. So, I mean, Mark, what do we do with this?
I'm all for the First Amendment. I'm all for prosecutors exercising their roles in our society. They're essential. But the kind of leaking that's gone on against both Republicans and Democrats, where they claim there's an investigation, they claim here's where it's going, they know how the media will treat it. I think it's long been a dangerous thing, and we've seen a real uptick of it in just the last couple of weeks aimed against Republicans and Democrats. It's prosecutorial misconduct, and it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, Mark, I can tell by the inflection of your voice that you're just livid about. I'm just messing with you, but Senator, the issue that I have with this is like Mark said, which was on point, which was that they use the media to go after people to create a narrative about pick one, and the next thing is just the sense of the investigation. The process becomes the punishment at some point. How do we have a secure nation if this is how we're using our prosecutorial wing?
Carl, you're bumping up against one of the most serious issues we have in the country today, and that's the media. You cannot have a free society, democratic types of elections, if people can't find out the truth. And the truth has been a huge casualty in what's happened in the media, particularly social media. And I think that the more formats we have, like Newsmax, the more people like Mark have shows where they can try in an honest way to give people the facts. Again, we cannot live as a civilized, free society if you can be accused of something, tried in the media, found guilty without ever having any due process. So it's just a shame that major media networks, ABC, NBC, no longer value the truth in any way. So it's very frustrating, particularly as we look at the next couple of elections, of just wondering, how can we get the truth about candidates out to the voters so they can know what they're really voting for?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And the big issue is Like I put something up I put a quote up from an email of Fauci, and Instagram fact checked me. Said, this could be potentially misleading. That was their fact check. It's unbelievable. Mark Halpern, former Senator Jim DeMint, stay with us. We're going to be right back. But coming up, Biden made a bunch of concessions on infrastructure. Thank God. We'll tell you how he's caving to the GOP and whether or not it will make any difference. Stay tuned. On infrastructure, he gave up his drive to increase tax hikes for corporations, but now it may fail anyway because Democrats don't want to compromise on anything. So let's bring back our panel. Jim DeMint is a former senator from South Carolina. He's also the author of the new novel, Satan's Dare. It's on sale now. You can pick it up. I encourage you to. We're also joined by best-selling author and political analyst Mark Halpern. All right, so Mark, will this effort of look, Biden campaigned on bipartisanship, bringing people back together and bridging the gap, and now he's doing it, and the Democrats are like, nope, stop that.
Well, you've always had the best Joe Biden imitation in the game.
Thank you.
Look, right now, here's what the Democrats are strategizing. I don't know that they'll get it, but here's what they want. They want a $1 trillion new spending on infrastructure that they pass in a bipartisan way.